Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kirtland Regional Police Academy Class 57. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the colors and our national anthem. Class, right, face.
Detail. Halt. Post colors. Post. Ready. Hang. Ready. Drop. Freeze it. Arms. Order. Up. Left. Feet. Forward. March.
Class, left, face. Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Director Christopher Perriott, and as Director of the Kirtland Regional Police Academy, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the loved ones, the friends, and the guests for attending the graduation of Class 57. I would like to recognize our Board of Trustees in attendance, Mr. Ed Perrin and Mr. Jack Kramer. Our Dean of Occupational Programs, Mrs. Barbara Waldron. Our law enforcement representatives from our sponsoring agencies, the County of Charlevoix, the City of Alpena, the City of Cadillac, the Township of Garish, the City of Harbor Springs, the County of Missaukee, the County of Osceola, the County of Oscoda, the City of Petoskey, the Township of Tuscarora, and the County of Wexford. I would also like to thank all the law enforcement officers and emergency responders who are present here today for the graduation. Thank you all for attending. The last 17 weeks have been a testament to the discipline, the fortitude, and the perseverance shown by each individual cadet. Each cadet seated here today can be especially proud of the extremely hard work they have put in these last 4 months. The training they have received has transformed them physically as well as preparing them mentally for what they will face as law enforcement officers. Our goal here at Kirtland is to provide our academy cadets with the finest in basic law enforcement instruction. We accomplish this through our partnership with the Michigan Commission of Law Enforcement Standards and by employing an expert cadre of instructors. I'm very proud to inform all of you that we are continuing to excel and exceed this goal. Kirtland Regional Police Academy is revered around the state as one of the finest law enforcement academies in Michigan. We cannot do this without the support of our College Board of Trustees, our college administration, along with the assistance from our coordinator and our professional instructors. Every business has a team or a person that always goes above and beyond what is asked of them. They continually give 110% and really ask for almost nothing in return. We in the criminal justice program have such a person. And at this time, I would like to recognize our special person who behind the scenes makes all of this possible, our coordinator, Mrs. Teresa Feldhauser. Mrs. Feldhauser's dedication, hard work, attention to detail continue to further improve this program and assist the cadets to their goal of graduation. Without Mrs. Feldhauser's countless hours of painstaking work, none of this would be possible. And thank you, Mrs. Feldhauser. Kirtland's cadre of instructors are chosen from the finest experts in the law enforcement field. Their professionalism and passion for teaching allows Kirtland to graduate and send the most qualified deputies and officers to serve and protect your communities. If we have any of our instructors present, would they please stand to be recognized? I know they're here, so stand up. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. After almost 30 years, I can honestly say that this is the greatest career that anyone can choose. The field is truly a calling, and the profession chooses you. It's not the other way around. It's full of good times and bad, highs and lows, hours of boredom, followed immediately by minutes of your heart racing and your adrenaline rushing through your veins. Nowhere else within our society can you find a job with such diversity, challenges, and satisfaction. The law enforcement profession is founded upon a set of ethical values that are instilled in all of us on day one. We at Kirtland have developed 5 core values that are taught and reinforced to each cadet from the moment they enter the academy. They are professionalism, respect, integrity, discipline, and accountability. These values are critical for them to excel and perform at their best while serving as law enforcement officers. Understanding and apply these values to their lives both on and off duty will provide agencies with an employee that is held to the highest of standards. This will benefit not only the agency, but the community they serve and the profession as a whole. And again, as long as I've been a cop, I've learned the values of having loved ones in your life. Having individuals that can walk with you along your journey is something that every single cop must have. Having someone to talk with and share those moments within your day, no matter how small, will allow you to better cope with what you see, hear, smell, and feel throughout your career. These cadets have spent the last 17 weeks preparing for that day when they will graduate and become certified law enforcement officers, taking an oath to serve and protect the citizens of their communities. But what they also must have is a promise or a guarantee from you, their loving friends and family. You must promise to be there for them in their good times and their bad. So with that, I would like all of you who have a special someone seated next to me to please stand. You're going to take a special oath of your own. So please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Oh, come on, we got to hear you. Let's try that again. I state your name. There we go. Do solemnly swear to be patient, compassionate, loving, and understanding. 2, state your officer's name. I promise to be that shoulder to cry on, a calming voice when there is doubt and uncertainty. I promise to be there to talk on any day and at any hour that you need. I also promise to give you a swift kick in the pants when I feel you need one. And trust me, they will. I promise to be there for you and stand by you as you protect the innocent and aid the weak by being their shield against the darkness. Thank you. You may be seated. I would now like to present our commencement speaker, Judge Cassandra Morris-Bills. Judge Morris-Bills was born and raised in Oscoda County. She graduated with honors from the University of South Carolina and also with distinction from the Thomas M. Cooley Law School. She began her career in law with a desire to serve the community and a passion for public service. She has served on numerous nonprofit boards, assisted with the establishment of the Roscommon Child Assessment Center, and has coached youth sports within her community and serves where needed within her church congregation. She began her legal career as a sole practitioner before being elected as the Oscoda County prosecuting attorney and was elected as the Oscoda County probate judge, taking her position on the bench in 2019. She is currently an active member of the Probate District and Circuit Judicial Associations for the state of Michigan and is currently the presiding judge for Oscoda County, presiding over the Circuit District and Probate Courts, as well as serving as a Circuit Court Judge for Aranac and the Circuit Court Appellate Judge for Oscoda, Aranac, Iosco, and Alcona counties. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Judge Cassandra Morris-Bills.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I first want to say thank you for having me speak today. I thank the director and the president of Kirtland Community College for having me. It is a privilege and it's an honor to be asked to speak at such a wonderful event. I will be honest, I feel slightly humbled as well and slightly unqualified to be giving a speech of this nature. I've never served as a police officer. So I really can't think of any words of wisdom that haven't already been passed on to these fine young men and women from their professors, their academy leaders, and others in their life. Now, I had a very polished, scripted out speech. before I came, and this morning I decided to start over. So please bear with me. What happened is I was on my way to work this morning at the courthouse. I stopped at the coffee shop, as I always do, and as soon as I stepped out, I hear sirens screaming by me, and a patrol car went flying through town. It's a small town, and the first thought that I had in my mind is, I really hope everybody's okay. Because in that moment, I knew that that officer was on his way to help somebody that truly needed his help in that moment. Then came the ambulance, and then came a volunteer firefighter I know, assuming for the jaws of life. It made me really, truly rethink what I wanted to focus on today and what I wanted to talk about. My first speech had a list of all of the qualities that I believed a good police officer should have. These are my opinion, and it's also a lot of words that I'm sure that all of you have heard many times, probably already heard today. That list of attributes includes your character, your integrity, your courage, your compassion, and my list went on and on. Now, I realize that I would be telling you things that, again, you already know, and that you've already been told countless times. I also realize that this list of qualities were simply my opinion through the eyes of an attorney, a prosecutor, and also as a judge. I've never served, as I said, as a police officer. I've never stood in the shoes that you are all about to stand in. I have been a prosecutor, and working in law enforcement as the chief law enforcement officer of a county carries with it similar struggles, similar duties, similar responsibilities that police officers hold. So I do understand to a certain extent the stresses, the difficulties, the personal strain that this job will put on you. I was 27 years old when I was elected as my county prosecutor. I had no assistant prosecutor, I had no investigator, I had very little experience in the field, and I had only graduated law school the year before. To say I feel underqualified today is nowhere compared to how I felt when I actually stepped foot in my office. It's very likely similar to the way maybe you are feeling today. A word of advice from someone who was once the newbie is seek the advice and the help from those who are more experienced and more knowledgeable than you. The academy is difficult. I have no doubt that it is very hard. It is physically and mentally one of the most difficult programs to successfully complete. It's easy to come out of that academy thinking that you know everything that you know in order to do this job. You don't. Neither did I. I still maybe don't know everything there is to know. I made mistakes, and so will you. I tell you this because I used to stress over mistakes that I made. I would go home, I would pull all-nighters, preparing for trials and reviewing cases. I would beat myself up if I did not get everything perfect. It will take a toll on you physically and mentally. Do not take these things personally, and use your mistakes as an opportunity to learn and to grow as a law enforcement officer. There also will be times that you do everything perfectly, and you still will not get the outcome that you hope for. I'll share with you one example of that. When I was prosecuting attorney, I had a CSC case. It's a criminal sexual conduct case. It involved a child victim, a victim with cognitive impairment, other acts evidence, medical labs experts, everything to make the case as complicated as possible. It was a 3-day trial. The jury took almost 2 hours to come back with a verdict, and I was starting to get nervous about what that outcome would be. Now, after that trial, I met with all of the jurors, as I often did, to ask them what they thought about the trial, what I could do better, and what they thought I did well. When I asked one particular juror a question about one of my witnesses, he responded that he really didn't remember much about the trial, but he did notice that I wore a different pair of shoes for every day of the trial. That is what this juror had been thinking about for 3 days. And that was the most important point of the trial that he felt to share with me. Ultimately, I did receive a guilty verdict, and all was right in the world that day. But I share this with you because no matter what you do and how perfect your investigation is, no matter how strong the evidence is in your case, there will always be factors that are out of your control. Justice will not always be served as you see it should be. Be prepared for these disappointments, but do not be discouraged by them. Learn from those situations and move on. You will always have another opportunity to make it right. Now, needless to say, I never wore a different pair of shoes during my trial again. But it was a learning opportunity, and it was also a very harsh realization that I had that day. Sometimes you can't control what the outcome is going to be, no matter how hard you work. Remember that. Now, police officers are often referred to as a brotherhood and a sisterhood. I love this phrase, and I love the camaraderie that the profession holds. It is one that is paralleled by no other profession. As you look at your fellow officers sitting next to you, I am confident that your first sense of brotherhood has already come to fruition in the academy. I'm confident that you have already leaned on each other and learned from each other. Continue to do that throughout your profession. Those that you work with, those you look up to, and also those that you can learn from in the field that you are serving. You're starting a career that is challenging, stressful, and exhausting, and you're going to need to lean on and support each other throughout your careers. A special note, a side note to our female officers, you've completed the same academy, you've passed the same test, you have the same qualifications, and you will wear the same badge. But I promise you, through my experience as a professional in this field and those that I know in your similar situation, your daily work will be more difficult than your male counterparts. You'll be challenged more and you will be disrespected more in the field. Be prepared for those challenges and overcome them with dignity. And to all of you, please don't forget that you also need to learn on and have the support from others in your life. Now, as the director stated, is very similar to the experiences that I have had in my own life. I'm sure that you've been told that you need to be able to leave the job at the job. Don't take it home with you and to compartmentalize your life. It is great advice, but it's not realistic. People will tell you that for the rest of your life and the rest of your career. And if it was possible, I would be telling you to do the same thing. It simply isn't. You aren't built that way, and if you were, you wouldn't be here today graduating from the academy and becoming a police officer. You already show dedication and will be dedicated to your work. You will take it home at times. There will be many nights, similar to the nights I had, that were filled with anger, sadness, tears after meeting with victims, families, and children. Hearing and seeing the horrific things that people will do to each other is going to affect you in a way that many of you, it's still unknown. You take an oath and responsibility today to serve and protect others. It gets personal. There's no way of getting around that. My words of advice to you is that that's okay. Be passionate about your work. Don't allow yourself to become so jaded that you no longer feel. It will serve you well in your profession. Just be sure that you do not take your anger, your sadness, or your frustrations out on those who love you. Talk to your loved ones about your work, but don't take it out on them. It will be stressful and challenging for your spouses, your significant others, your children, your parents, all of those that are close to you. Show them the support that they will need as well. I think it's wonderful that everybody here today took an oath to support your officers and your family that's entering law enforcement. But I share with you this experience is equally as important to show that support to your family. I've made those mistakes at times. And it's a harsh realization when you realize you put your job before those that love you. Please don't make the mistakes that I made. Spend more time in your living room than you spend in your patrol car. Now, I have the honor of having many friends who have served or are currently serving in law enforcement. I reached out to several of those officers, some who are retired, some who are halfway through their careers, and some who are fairly new to the profession. And I had asked them what they wish they would have been told when they were graduating from the academy. I heard many different things. And there was one particular script or writing that was given to me by an officer that I know. It was written and given to him by an officer named Paul, who retired after several decades after service to the Mills Township Police Department. I did not know Paul, but his words were very impactful when I read them. He has now passed away, but his words do continue to be impactful, and I think they will be for you as well. In writing to a fellow officer just starting his career, Paul said, "We who carry this badge are a very elite group. To carry a badge is a privilege, but it also includes responsibilities. Sometimes this badge is called a shield. Always remember this is not a shield to hide behind. Never use it for personal gain. This is a shield that represents your responsibility to protect, to preserve, and defend our basic human rights from those who would take them away. Keep your badge, your weapon, and your reputation clean, and they will never fail you. Never set your goal to be the best, but only to be the best that you can be." If Paul were still with us, I probably would have asked him to speak today instead of myself, because those words summarize everything that I was hoping to express today. And I hope that all of you as young officers will take them to heart. Now you have all taken or will take an oath today. Remind yourselves of that oath every single day that you put on your badge, and also on the days that you do not put on your badge. Every man, woman, and child recognizes your uniform and the responsibility that comes with wearing that uniform. It is a great weight. You are held to the highest level of respect and dignity and integrity. Wear it well, on and off duty. Each and every one of you are now in a position to do great things, to serve the people of your community and to improve the lives of every person that you come in contact with throughout your career. Take this opportunity to its fullest potential and live a life and a career that you are proud of. Thank you again to all of you for allowing me to speak today. It is truly a great honor to be here, and I hope that all of you feel a swell of pride with the accomplishments that you have made so far. Graduating the academy, you may feel like you're at the finish line because it's been such a difficult time, but your feet are just in the starting blocks. And I have no doubt that all of you will go on to serve your communities well and to be great officers. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for your service and the service that you will be providing to your communities and your dedication to public service. May God bless each of you and keep all of you safe in your endeavors. Thank you.
Picture. Awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. And now I'd like to welcome our class speaker, Deputy Travis Hall.
On behalf of Class 57 of the Kirtland Regional Police Academy, I would like to thank everyone in attendance for being here to celebrate with us today. Each of us are grateful for your attendance, your sacrifice, your support, and most of all, your patience. Without each of you in our lives, our success and our graduation from this academy would not be possible. So thank you. My name is Travis Hall, and I'm extremely grateful to be given the opportunity to speak on behalf of Class 57. It truly is an honor to summarize our academy experience and lessons learned with our friends and family. The Kirtland Regional Police Academy is just one of 22 police academies in this great state. Each of them run one or more academies annually with varying class sizes. We are just one graduating class composed of just 16 individuals, a drop in the bucket for the current demand for qualified law enforcement officers in this state. Nevertheless, Class 57 started with 16 people who were answering their own call to duty and discipline, and ended with 16 people committed and prepared to dedicate their lives to those around them. On August 14th, we started with 16 strangers. just learning each other's names and shaking hands. And on December 8th, we are ending with 16 individuals with innate knowledge of our strengths, our weaknesses, our family histories, and the paths of life that formed in us this desire to serve. Make no mistake, we have had some hard days. We've spent a lot of time with the same small group of people in some fairly tight quarters. We've challenged one another both intentionally and unintentionally at times, and we learned how to work closely and efficiently with perfect strangers. Maturity, tact, grit, boldness, and humility remain a prerequisite for a career in law enforcement. And those character qualities were displayed by us all, even in unfavorable circumstances. I want to share with you some of the lessons we've learned. Right on? Right on. Together as a class, we have laughed, bled, and sweat together a lot over these 17 weeks. We've learned a lot. We've learned that every wall is wrong. Doesn't matter how right you think it is. It is, in fact, still a wrong wall. Tracking? Good. We've learned that Director Perriott and Lieutenant Beck might really enjoy getting to the bottom of a pepper spray can. While Deputy Ryan Blair, I learned that I have entertained my fullness of capacity for OC spray, while Deputy Ryan Blair can eat OC spray no different than some hot sauce. We know that Deputy Andrew Nation was good to lean on for a good laugh whenever we needed. We learned that if a defense tactics instructor asks someone for a volunteer, it might be in your best interest to avoid eye contact for a little while. Let someone else take care of that. We've learned that Danners sound up real nice. We've learned that we're quite a diverse group, made of international musicians, engineers, dispatchers, special deputies, park rangers, big city firefighters, pastors, machinists, college students, National Guardsmen, college soccer players, gymnasts, home inspectors, and corrections officers. And I'm pretty sure that there's a guy that runs an island in Lake Michigan somewhere. Does that make sense? Anyways, I'm proud to know you all. I am proud to know about some of the yesterdays in your life that led to your presence on this stage. And while the goal of today does center itself around encouragement, pride, and celebration, we are all embarking on a career that demands that we challenge ourselves. So I would ask all my classmates to take my following words to heart. I hope it encourages you and challenges you to maintain the correct perspective in the days, weeks, months, and inevitably years of our careers that lay ahead. Today it is my job to become intimately familiar with my work area, the roads, communities, and souls that it comprises. Decades of time spent on the roads I care for, or perhaps just days or minutes, today the public meets me for the first time. And perhaps I meet them for the first time as well. I do contain the privilege of authority and power, but only as they set on the foundation of humility and service. These two sides of the same paradox must never be separated. As privilege, authority, power, humility, and service demand themselves to be present within my character and my performance from today forth for my entire existence as a protector of my community. The conglomerate of yesterdays, filled with joys, successes, failures, saved lives, and lost ones, I display them all over my heart for all to see the symbol of discipline and honor I commit myself to represent. I consider it all a privilege. In conclusion, I have one last word of encouragement for my classmates. Paul told Timothy some years ago at the start of his young career in life that God did not give him a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind or self-discipline. We are all at the start of our career, and rest be assured that we will experience fear. We're going to experience it, we're going to look at it, we're going to feel it, taste it, and smell it, and rest be assured we will confront it. But we all have to understand that when that happens, we are called to respond to that fear with power, with empathy to understand, and a sound mind of self-discipline to do what we have sworn to do. Arthur Wellesley, the first Duke of Wellington and the first man to defeat Napoleon, said, "No man should be afraid of that which he knows he does well." So go out to your respective jurisdictions and let's become experts at what we do well, and do not be afraid to do it. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, Deputy Abigail Sturley and I will be presenting the class flag.
And now it is time for our awards presentations. We have multiple awards from different modules within the Academy, and our lead instructors will be giving those awards. First is for firearms, Mr. Thomas Grace.
Good morning. Class 57 spent many hours learning the laws and pertaining to the use of deadly force and possible alternatives. They were trained in a classroom setting with the Milo system discussing force continuum. During the scheduled range days, they were schooled in the fundamentals of marksmanship and overall shooting proficiency pertaining to handguns, shotguns, and patrol rifles. We have two awards. These awards, both of them, were extremely difficult as far as coming up with a recipient on this. So many of them out of this group here worked extremely hard and accomplished a lot. The first thing we do, this most improved shooter is going to be our first award. And the first thing we do when we meet with them is that we try to figure out how much experience they may or may not have. We had an unusually large number of people that said that they had either no experience or very limited experience. They did a very nice job as they proceeded through the training and so on. We also test for master eye, and what that does is that tells us whether a person should be a right-hand or a left-handed person. I don't think I've ever had this happen where we ended up with at least 3 or 4 people that thought they were right-handed and tested out to be left-handed people. Now, you know, how difficult is it to make that change? I guess stop in at the bowling alley and try to throw a couple of games there with your left hand if you were a right-hander, or golf 18 holes there with your opposite hand, or throw a baseball, throw a football. It's difficult, and they did an excellent job. Some of them got it right down to the end there, taking up the full time, but they did a phenomenal job, and I commend them, and they too, like I said, are very deserving of this particular award. In the end, the staff, we refer to data sheets that MCOLS has us fill out on a daily basis. And it just basically so we can reflect back as to their progress. Who was it that was struggling in a certain area and was able to accomplish the end goals that we needed, and who was the most consistent person on a daily basis. And so our tallies, our observations comes up with the recipient on this is Ryan Blair. The second award that we have is a Top Shooter Award. A lot of times some of the other classes have been much easier to determine who that award should go to. We'll have an individual that will come in, and it's pretty obvious that they received training prior to the academy itself. They had maybe done a fair amount of shooting and so on, and they, from day one, sort of excelled through the entire program. In this case here, again, extremely unusual. We had at least 4 people that come to mind that were extremely good shots. It's tough. My belief is that it's not necessarily just the person who's the best shot. There has to be a cumulative type. We want to have a very well-rounded type person. We monitor, who's the good shot, obviously, but however, we also need to consistently show good tactical skills in addition to being a team player who demonstrates leadership skills and assist others in improving, all of them improving out there. We monitor the decisions that they make. We have a Milo system where we can test for decision making and so on, and we monitor their abilities to go through that and make good decisions. We even, this time around, even talked with our patrol staff when they run their scenarios and so on. We want a person that is making good decisions in regards to whether what type of force, that force continuum, what type of force should be used. And at this time, the award will go to Dallas Givens. I'd like to congratulate each one of you. Wish you the best of luck, and don't be a stranger, okay? If there's anything that any of the instructors can do for you, please let them know. Thank you.
Our next awards are physical training and defensive tactics, and they will be given by our lead instructor, Sheriff Edward Stern from Roscommon County.
Good morning. First off, Class 57, I'd like to say congratulations. You've completed a task that many people dream about since they're young, and that's an honor. As I look out into the crowd and when I was walking in, the amount of prior cadets that are in the audience is just overwhelming. There's even one prior cadet whose son is now in the academy, which says 2 things. Either 1, I'm getting really old, or 2, it speaks volumes to the caliber that Kirtland's Academy is and what they put out in law enforcement officers. So congratulations to Kirtland. During the academy, the cadets are put through a very friendly, kind, warming environment for physical fitness. It's not our fault you can't find the right wall. We give you plenty of opportunities to find that wall, but unfortunately, you guys just suffered at it. The cadets are put through a vigorous physical fitness training throughout the academy. They are tested when they first start at the academy, and then about every 4 weeks afterwards until they take their final physical fitness test, which they have to pass for their licensing. And during that time, we evaluate the cadets. Are they improving? Are they declining? Are they doing things on their own time? Are they self-motivated? And from those observations by the instructors determines who gets the awards. The first award that I'd like to give out is for most improved. This cadet increased all 4 of his skill tests by large volumes, and that award goes to Michael Beal. The second award goes to top in physical fitness. This award is not specifically given based on numbers, on their fitness testing. We evaluate each cadet to see their motivation level, to see how much they motivate others, how willing they are to help out when things need to be done, how hard they push themselves. And that award goes to Levi Connor. I have to tell you, Cadet Connor, first day, I think he was the first one that found his little 5-gallon bucket, and he continued on for many weeks hugging that bucket. I don't know what his issue was, but by the end of the academy, he gave the bucket up, and it was good to go after that. Defensive tactics. It's not an easy program, as I'm sure a lot of you know. When they came home, they were sore, they had bruises and bumps and scrapes, and we try to train them for the worst case scenario and what may possibly happen in their career, so that if it does happen, they're not surprised by it. We train for worst case scenario. They all did an amazing job, and it's very difficult to pick who should receive awards for this. But we chose for most improved in defensive tactics to Dallas Gibbons. The final award is for top in defensive tactics. This cadet was more than eager to volunteer his services to be our test dummies and our demonstration dummies, even though Deputy Hall said nobody ever volunteered. It's okay. This one did. That award goes to Daniel Steele. Again, on behalf of the physical fitness and defensive tactics instructors, I want to congratulate you guys. You did an amazing job. You were very fun to be around. You were eager, willing to learn, willing to work, and we as instructors appreciate that. I wish you the best of luck in your career. This is an honorable and noble profession. Day 2, when we were sitting in the classroom talking about nutrition, I asked you to find your reason. Please keep that in your head. That reason always changes, it always is adjusted, but what is your motivation that keeps you going every day? Everybody has a reason. Keep that in your head. Congratulations.
Throughout the academy, the cadets take exams in all of the different modules, from legal to emergency vehicle operations to firearms to defensive tactics. We even give them a spelling test towards the end. Once the scores are tabulated, we come with the #1 academic cadet. And this class, I believe it was the top 3 or 4, were separated by hundreds of points. Less than a point separated them. Very, very impressive. The top academic award goes to Travis Hall. Our next award will be given by the Michigan Commission of Law Enforcement Standards for Cadet Outstanding Performance, and that is Mr. Leon Boyer.
Director, graduates, family members, and fellow law enforcement professionals, thank you for allowing me to participate in this graduation event. It is truly an honor and a privilege. I am here today to bring congratulations from the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards. The commission is made up of members that represent Michigan police chiefs and sheriffs, law enforcement and labor organizations, prosecuting attorneys, the Criminal Defense Bar, the Michigan State Police, the Michigan Attorney General, and public representatives. As graduates, let me welcome each of you into the law enforcement and criminal justice family that the Commission represents. As I welcome you, I want to also take a minute to challenge each of you to reach out and become acquainted with your extended law enforcement family. There are over 18,500 law enforcement officers and over 570 law enforcement agencies in our state. Developing positive relationships throughout the vast law enforcement and criminal justice community will not only speak highly of your agency, but it'll also reflect on your own growth in the law enforcement community. You will develop personal and professional relationships that will last during and long after your law enforcement career. In addition to congratulating you and welcoming you to our proud law enforcement community, I am here to present the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards Outstanding Performance Award. The Commission is responsible for developing and administering selection and training standards that are used to identify qualified law enforcement candidates and prepare them to perform the important functions of a law enforcement officer. As part of that preparation, the Commission recognizes candidates who have performed in an exemplary manner throughout the training process. Therefore, it is my extreme honor to present the Commission's Outstanding Performance Award for this Academy session at Kirtland Regional Police Academy. I would like to ask Deputy Ryan Blair from Oscoda County Sheriff's Office to please come forward and stand with me here for just a little bit. Deputy Blair, this award recognizes many things. However, the key component in a cadet's preparation to do the job of a law enforcement officer is the successful completion of the academy training. The Commission's Outstanding Performance Award is presented to the candidate who has demonstrated exceptional performance during the academy experience. The recipient exemplifies the characteristics needed for an ideal law enforcement officer by exhibiting the highest standards of mental, physical, and moral fitness while in the training environment. To be selected for this award, cadets are rated by the Academy staff and fellow cadets based on overall academic achievement, skill performance, appearance, leadership, and ability to communicate. That being said, I would like to share some of the many comments made about Mr. Blair by those that have shared this journey with him. These words express how your fellow cadets have come to appreciate and recognize all that you do. Ryan, quote, Ryan has been the go-to person for everyone in our class. He is always willing to help. He has coordinated study groups. In case someone forgot something on a particular day, he always had something extra. Ryan works hard and cares about all of our success just as much as his own. Ryan has had to push extremely hard throughout the entire academy and has always done his best to communicate with the rest of the cadets, as well as be available for mostly anything that we all may need help with. These expressions of recognition and gratitude given by your peers are truly a statement to your character and the impact you have on others. So with that, I want to say that on behalf of the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, it gives me great pleasure to present the Outstanding Performance Award to Deputy Ryan Blair, and I want to read what the plaque says here. For your exemplary demonstration of the knowledge, skills, and abilities required of an effective police officer during the basic training program. Kirtland Community College, Regional Police Academy. Thank you.
Our last award is a special one. I've been involved with teaching police academies for almost 20 years, and I started out as an instructor and still instruct classes today here at Kirtland. I get no greater joy than to teach. It is my passion. I love it. And I love to surround myself with other instructors who have that same passion. This class, we were informed by one of our instructors that he was going to be calling it quits. It was time to retire and spend some more time with his grandchildren. And I appreciate that. But it's always hard to lose a phenomenal instructor. But after 8 years, Mr. Marvin Walter, who teaches our lean and communications modules, said, "Director, I'm going to be retiring." So what I'd like to do is I'd like to have Mr. Walter come on up so we can present him with an appreciation award. And I'd just like to read what we wrote for Marvin. Marvin, thank you for your unwavering support and dedication in educating our future law enforcement officers throughout the years. You will be deeply missed. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let's take a picture.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now it is time for our badge pinning. We are going to go by squads, squad 1 in the front and then squad 2. If you have a badge that you're going to pin on a deputy or an officer, please wait till they come up and then we'd like you to approach. And we've explained how we're going to do it with the pictures. So just be patient, please, all right? Squad 1, attend. Right, face. Fall out to be pinned. Fall out. Thank you. If those folks would like to come forward with the badges. Squad 1, left, face. Fall out to your seats, fall out. Squad 2, 10, left, face. Fall out to be pinned, fall out. Those with badges can come up. Squad 2, left, face. Fall out to your seats, fall out. And now we'll have our presentation of our academic certificates. Deputy Michael Beal. Deputy Ryan Blair. Officer Caleb Berger. Officer Dawson Brace. Officer Alexander Cole. Deputy Levi Connor. Officer Dallas Givens. Deputy Daniel Golubski. Deputy Travis Hall. Deputy James Moss. Deputy Andrew Nation. Officer Michael Richter. Officer Daniel Steele. Deputy Abigail Sturley. Officer Spencer Taylor. Deputy Kristen Wright. And now our cadets, as a class, will recite the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. Class, attention! The Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, and will behave in a manner that does not bring discredit to me or to my agency. I will maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed, both in personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the laws and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature, or that is confided to me in my official capacity, will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duties. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, political beliefs, aspirations, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and the relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce laws courteously and appropriately without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as the public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of police service. I will never engage in acts of corruption or bribery, nor will I condone such acts by other police officers. I will cooperate with all legally authorized agencies and their representatives in the pursuit of justice. I know that I alone am responsible for my own standard of professional performance, and will take every reasonable opportunity to enhance and improve my level of knowledge and competence. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement.
Well done, well done, well done. And now the time they've all been waiting for. Class 57, I am honored to welcome you to the law enforcement family. Congratulations.
Others are lost in their fears. We are forged in them.
You are dismissed. Follow.